To see how important these accumulating stocks are, as well as the interdependence and feedback between them, let's take a look at this very, very simple example of a small IT support company. You can see that the client base of this company has grown over about 12 months, but has then fallen away again. And the growth arose because it sent a business development person out to go and sign up new clients, bringing them in to the left-hand side of that stock of clients, as you can see there. But for the client base to have fallen away, something else must have happened. So let's see what that might have been. I've run this part way through, and you can see the client acquisition rate has been high and is now falling away in more recent months. We're now at about month 16. And what's happened is that the demand coming from those new clients, both in terms of the service hours required to bring those clients on and also to support them once they're in the business, has led to an increase in the total service demand on the business. Now that has caused an increase in the pressure on the staff in the business and led to increasing problems that the clients have experienced, and they'll put up with that for a little while, but we've reached the point now where some of those clients are so dissatisfied that they've actually started to leave, and that loss rate is just about the same as the win rate on the left hand side. Let's carry on just a few steps further. And you can see now that the client loss rate has overtaken the win rate on the left-hand side, and the client base is actually starting to fall. Now, if we go over to the right-hand side, we can see that the revenue is starting to fall and profits are starting to decline as well. Now, you might expect that this problem would actually fix itself, because as you reduce the number of clients, then that would be less work for the staff to cope with. But if we look down to the bottom of the model, we can see that things are not quite that happy. That pressure on the staff is not only causing problems for the clients, but is causing staff to be lost. And we're now losing staff faster than we've been hiring them on the left-hand side. And if the business just carries on like this, we'll end up with a pretty unsatisfactory situation at the end. We're actually making less revenue than we were in the first place, and we're making less profit than we were in the first place as well. The only reason profits aren't even lower still is that we are incurring lower staff costs. So what might the business have done differently to avoid these problems in the first place? What to do, when and how much is absolutely critical here. So let's just change this hiring scheme here. And I've just put in a little formula there that makes the staff hiring rise before we actually start that client growth. If we run this again now without advanced staff hiring, we can see that the problems don't build up. We make less profit in the short term because we're spending that extra money on the additional staff that we've taken on. But we don't lose those clients because of pressure on staff. We don't lose the staff because of the pressure on staff. And our revenue stabilizes at a high continuing level. And our profits, after just a small reduction when we've had rather more staff than we absolutely need to deal with the workload, the profit stabilizes and continues to grow at a slow rate, well above the profit rate that we started with. Unfortunately, we're already in the middle of this problem, and we did not take that decision earlier on to raise the hiring rate of our staff. So we're already in the situation of having overpressured staff. We've already got problems for our clients, and we've already got signs of those clients leaving us. So what might we do from here? Well, there was a rather radical solution in this particular case. The CEO decided actually to help some of the clients move away and get their support from providers who are better able to cope, but at the same time increase the number of staff as well to be able to reduce that pressure. And this is a quick picture of what happened. We've got that extra spike of clients leaving as we helped an additional 6 clients to find support elsewhere. But that very quickly brought the pressure on staff down and reduced the problem rate. That pressure on staff was also reduced by a temporary increase in the hiring rate. It took a little while to get those extra people on board and able to support the clients, but that reduced the pressure on staff still further. and eliminated the problems that the clients were experiencing. So we end up with just a few more clients than we started with, but the loss rate has disappeared and we've got a stable client base again. We've stabilized the revenue and we've stabilized the profit at just a little higher rate than we started with in the first place. But once again, it's not falling. Now we're in a position to plan for future growth, do the advanced hiring properly, and pace new client acquisitions at such a rate that we will be able to cope, we will be able to grow the client base without triggering excess pressure, without triggering client losses, and without triggering loss of those key staff. And that would deliver sustainable profit growth out beyond the end of this period.